Hey guys, how's it going? This is the Bold Metal Nerd coming at you with another video. Now, I know in my past several videos, I haven't talked about music or audio very much. And I know I talk about that obviously a lot on this channel. Now, in this video, I am going to talk about music, obviously, because you see the title of this video. And I have some more videos slated coming up after this one. Unfortunately, they're not really related to music or audio much either. So I kind of just wanted to sandwich just in here in between, so I could at least talk about my main topic some. I would be happy, I'll be more than happy to talk about music and audio more, honestly, when I think of more topics. But let's get right to it in this video. Obviously, the title of this video is why, heavy metal is my favorite type of music. And I think most people who are really, really into music have a favorite genre. They may like a whole, they may like a plethora of genres, but a lot of people have a favorite. I do like other stuff too. I mean, I know I made a video about it. And some of the other genres I really like are closely related to heavy metal. Hard rock, for example. I mean, let's be honest, that's not, far away from heavy metal. It's basically its sibling, right? I also like industrial music a lot, and of course that's very loud, heavy, and abrasive, so another brother of heavy metal, as it were. Something, though, that is a little farther afield from it, although it is somewhat related to it, too. I like classical symphonic music a fair amount, but you could argue with the complexity of heavy metal, there is some crossover there, especially with symphonic metal. Um, I like that as well. I also like getting further away. I like some folk music, a little bit of world music, some pop. Of course, I adore Johnny Cash, and he's pretty far away from it. So it's not all that I like, but and of course classic rock. I mean, classic rock is great, a lot of it, or at least the stuff that survived. I mean, we tend to look at the past through rose-tinted glasses, but some of the rock of the past that actually managed to survive relevancy to the modern day is pretty great. So anyway, that's just some of the stuff I like that's not directly related to it, but some of it is. And of course, some very selected pop, like Michael Jackson, right? So anyway, enough about that. I'm going to get into why it is my favorite genre, and it all started when I was listening to back in the 80s. I heard Metallica's Master of Puppets for the first time. Really, what immediately I noticed about it was the fact of the simple power and fury of the music was just instantly appealing to me. I heard it and it was like, I instantly I just fell in love with it. And that is probably still the main reason that I like it. I mean, just the power and the complexity, the fury of the music, because it doesn't really sound like anything else. It's very unique in its sound. And it just speaks to me in a way that other forms of music rarely do. And metal does it pretty consistently. It just has that special magic formula for me. Now, I know this isn't obviously the case for everybody. It's just for me. It's there. It burrows into my head and speaks to my soul, as it were, right? Just the overall sound of it. I just love the sound of, the really heavy guitar riffs, and they're just going, real heavily, and the fury of the drums, really loud and fast, driving that hard driving beat. right? It's just awesome. Of course, the crazy guitar solos, that you don't hear in other stuff. I mean, of course, there are guitar solos in regular rock, but what you hear in metal tends to be on a whole other level. I just love it. It's absolutely just my favorite thing to listen to, and and some of the vocal styles. Now, do I, now I will fully admit that that's probably the thing that, if you're going to have a problem with metal, is probably going to be the vocals first and foremost for most people. Now, when I first got into metal, did I like the more extreme vocals? Absolutely not. Those are definitely an acquired taste. Like I said, Metallica is what I started out with, and their vocals are fairly mild, compared to a lot of other bands. I mean, there's no, style vocals in there at all. And it took me, honestly, years of liking metal before I could even begin to even learn to appreciate those other types of vocals. And they're still not my favorite. I mean, my favorite style of metal vocals are still kind of the regular mid-range baritone kind of vocals. I also really do like the more operatic stylings too, of course, of Rob Halford and Bruce Dickinson, or like power metal singers. Those probably are still my favorite vocals. Of course, I do still like the more extreme vocals. If it fits the music and it's done well and they enunciate and you can actually understand it, it's actually pretty awesome. Or it can be if it's done correctly, and of course, if it's done badly, it's another thing. And you know, and speaking more of the lyrics, I'm going to talk a little bit about the lyrical content now. Now, when I was younger, I was an even angrier person than I am now. I mean, I was extremely angry at the world. Very, very angry young man is what I was. Oh man, was I an angry young man. Nowadays, am I still angry about a lot of stuff? Oh, you betcha. Oh yeah, I still have it, but it's definitely tempered now by experience. I base in wisdom, I guess. I now kind of understand the reason for why a lot of things are the way they are. Even if I don't like it or don't agree with it, I've kind of learned to accept certain things. I try to, change things in any small way I can by trying to be a good example in the world to other people, living my life in a way that I feel is positive, right? All that kind of stuff. But I recognize that my limitations and I accept it and move on. But yeah, when I was young, I mean, it really got me through some very dark stuff, dark times in my life. It was great. And nowadays, and back then, I really felt like maybe they were speaking directly to my state of mind at the time, all that, and it really made me feel like, hey, maybe somebody can understand some of these feelings and thoughts that I'm having, etc. Nowadays, I'm not quite that angry anymore, like I said, but it still burns inside, because there's a lot of fucked up shit in this world that just isn't right. That does anger me. It's not like I'm not angry at all. It's just not quite as angry as I used to be, I guess. And that's just a function of age, I think, more than anything else. And it's just a great outlet for emotions, right? Like if you're stressed out about something, there's nothing better than putting some of that metal on and just letting it flow over you. I mean, it has a calming effect on me because I mean, I listen to it like as a lullaby, right? Like I said, I like to lay in bed, put on headphones, and I'll just lay there and I'll listen to, say, for example, Slayer, right before bed. Yeah, damn it. Listen to South of Heaven or whatever right before I go to sleep. And it calms me down. Um, I know it sounds funny to people who aren't fans of the music. If you're thinking to yourself, holy shit, how can he do that? It's because it's what I like. Your favorite music will relax you, and it's very relaxing to me. And but it's also, if I want it to be, if I change my frame of mind, it can also really pump and boost my adrenaline when I need one. Like if I need to get through a task, that I don't really want to do, right? I can put on some music and I can get an adrenaline boost from it just by changing my focus a little bit, and it can help me power through the task. I don't know, I always put on music when I'm doing chores that I don't want to do. At work, if I'm going to do something tedious at work, I'll throw on some headphones, just listen to it and power through the task. It's just by far, the perfect genre for me. Now, that's basically it. That's why I like it so much. That's why it's appealing to me. I realize it's not appealing to everyone, but hey, that's life. Um, I'd really like to hear in the comments below if you have a favorite type of music. If you do, what is it? Why? Etc. Make a video response if you want to. I know YouTube doesn't really do video responses, but you get what I'm saying. I'd really like to hear your thoughts on this subject. Um, as always, if you did like what you see, please thumbs up, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.